If there's one word you'd use to describe Suzaha, it's cheery. But what we learn is that that's not really her, just a face that she puts on. Not for everyone else, but for herself, because it's the only way she can cope with CERN's dystopian future. I said that Mayuri is the pure and innocent trope, but it works because they used it in the only way it would actually work in the real world, special. And it's the same with Suzaha. She's cheery because it's a coping strategy. It's her defiance of the darkness she comes from. In the future, in 2036, happiness doesn't exist. It's, as John Titor describes it,
ディストピアとは共産主義が復活し生活レベルが18世紀に戻ったといえば分かりやすいでしょうか。
Now, this probably says more about the dude who wrote John Titor because, hello, fascism and rampant poverty aren't exclusive to communist regimes, but whatever. But basically, it's a shitty dystopia where everything is terrible. This is why she says shit like this.
どうかした？
気にするな。軽く拷問を受けただけだ。
なんだ、そんなの拷問のうちに入らないよ。
まるで本当の拷問を受けたかのような口ぶりだな。
そりゃ戦士だからね。
And this.
爆撃。
花火の中継だろう。
Obviously, there's no air raids or torture or anything like that in Akihabara. Okabe says shit like this ironically, but for Suzaha, it's very, very real. While it feels out of place in everyday life, where she comes from, when she comes from, this is her everyday.
またか。
何？死亡通知でも来た？
死亡通知？
いや。
So this.
まさかバイトというのは？
All of this.
まるで本当の拷問を受けたかのような口ぶりだな。
そりゃ戦士だからね。
Is just her way of dealing with the shitty hand she's been dealt. But we see it for the facade it is during the 2 times it drops. The first is when she sees Kurisu.
マキセ、クリス。はい、この人は？
ブランカン工房のバイト。
Because she sees her as the enemy. She sees her as dangerous and puts up her guard. Before we get into the second time though, have you ever thought about the way Suzaha glares at Kurisu? Like, really thought about it. This is a really, really clever detail that I'm not sure everyone fully appreciates. She hates Kurisu because she's the mother of the time machine, even though that's literally the only thing she knows about her. This is some 1984 level shit, bro. Like, she doesn't know why Kurisu worked for CERN or any of her motivations, yet knows that she's evil. Even though Kurisu was very clearly forced to work for CERN, which we learned from the lab invasion, all she did was write the paper on time travel. It's a really subtle testament to the power of CERN that even one of the core members of the resistance believes the propaganda that it puts out. The second time we see Suzaha's mask come off is at the lab party.
迷ったら攻める。それが私のモットーだよ。
かかったな、小娘が。
We don't see this scowl anywhere else, but it's not because she's upset or because she's not having fun. Exactly the opposite. It's exactly because she's having so much fun that she can let herself do this. She doesn't have to put on this fake smile because she is a real one to wear. Because here, she gets to do all of the things she never could before. Play board games, screw around, be a fucking kid, eat pizza and cake, and kurisu salad. Oh. Why did I do this? Oh god. Oh god, that's horrible. This is horrible. Why do I do this to myself? Oh, it's so horrible. So horrible. Oh my god. And that's exactly why it's only here that we see her able to get along with Kurisu. Because the reason she could never see Kurisu as a real person is because she never had the chance to have any friends. How could she see Kurisu as real when she doesn't know what real people act like? So, when she goes back to 1975, it's sad because she's giving up her first real friends, her first real chance to be happy. I keep saying that Steins Gate is about the beauty of the everyday. The everyday that gets taken away when Ferris wishes to bring her father back from the dead. The everyday that Mayuri feels disappearing as Okabe plunges into his battle with the universe. The everyday that is the price Okabe pays for all of the wishes he grants every one of his friends. And here, we get to see the beauty of the everyday from the perspective of someone who's never ever seen it. Someone who finally gets to experience the joy of the ordinary, only to have to give it up immediately as she travels to the past. So it's sad, but it's also happy because this journey is, for her, true freedom. Her friendship with the lab isn't normal, it was a necessary part of her mission. And while this doesn't make it not real, it's still not quite her own. It's tainted with the knowledge that it's a temporary happiness. But stepping into the time machine represents her chance to finally discover what real happiness looks like, because she isn't going back to war, she's going to an even more peaceful time. She sets off for the past, having learned the meaning of friendship and happiness, having learned all of the things that life is supposed to be about, knowing that she'll truly be able to start anew and live a normal life, knowing that it's finally okay to be happy and to be herself.
70年代だって悪くないよ。そこでまた君たちみたいな友達を作って自由に生きていく。
And the irony here is, it's her carefree enjoyment of exactly this every day that is so crushing when she fails.
使命を忘れてただのうのうと生きてきた。許して許して許して許して。もしも時間を戻せるなら、あの日の私を引き止めないようにしてほしい。こんな人生。
無意味だった。
Basically, all of the characters in Steins Gate are subversions of themselves. Suzaha is cheery because it's a mask for the darkness lying beneath, but her character as a whole is optimistic. Her character is about looking forward to a bright future. She comes back to the past to change that darkness she comes from. And again, when she steps back into 1975, it's to change the future, it's to erase the darkness. Her cheery smile is covering darkness, but it's actually showing us her eager optimism. Is Suzaha the stereotypical sunny waifu? Well, yes, but also no. But also yes. Next time, why Ferris Nyanyan is the perfect waifu is what I was gonna say, but I realized I actually covered everything catgirl-wise in episodes 9 and 10. So, next time, how I became the world's greatest Rainet Battlers player. That's right, Ferris Nyanyan, eat your heart out. As always, thank you so much for your time, friends, and I will see you in the next video.